Johnson. Coach, if you could open up with a quick statement before you have questions.
Well, we got our tails kicked. I mean, that's pretty much, we got outplayed, outcoached, and we got beat by a really good football team. And we're not good enough to fumble the ball 7 or 8 times and jump off sides and take ourselves out of field goal range to start the game with 2 sacks in a row. And, all those things, I thought we got off to a pretty good start. Strung together some first downs, got down there to about the 20, and then we get a penalty. And then we'll back us up, and then we're trying to throw a really quick pass, and we take a long pass set with a guy and just opens up the gap, and we get sacked, and now it's 3rd and 14. And then we can't make that play, and we go out to kick a field goal, which is an exercise in futility sometimes. But we don't even get to kick it because we jump off sides on that. So we wasted the momentum of the first drive. And then I think there was another drive, we get down there, we miss a 40-yard field goal or whatever, couldn't finish. And you know, we can't have the negative plays. They're really good up front, they're hard to block, they got big guys. And when you get the opportunity, you got to execute and you got to play. You can't pitch the ball on the ground. You just can't do those things.
Okay, questions for Coach Johnson? Please raise your hand, get a microphone.
Well, that first drive was pretty much an example of what's been happening a lot to the offense this year. You put together a nice drive, and then all of a sudden, when you get in scoring range, the mistakes start to happen.
Mm-hmm. We got to stay on side. I mean, that's it. We got to coach them better in pass protection, clearly, because we're not very good at it.
I imagine the fumbles is probably the most troubling piece of this whole thing for you, given the experience on the offensive side.
Yeah, fundamentals. We're not doing a very good job coaching them. Just call it what it is. We're not.
Coach, you got a couple looks at Tobias Oliver again today. What are your thoughts on his development as a QB? You finally got a pass up.
He made some nice runs. I don't think he got the right play to the right front check yet. We're still waiting on that one. So, but he did make some nice runs.
Coach, he came in the first quarter on that first possession for changing pace, flash over, or injury.
No, Taquan hurt himself.
Coach, the 3 Clemson running backs, are they as good a group as you've seen
This year? Yeah.
Yeah.
No comparison to who we played this year, yeah.
A lot of missed tackles because of that.
Well, we had a hard time getting lined up defensively. You know, we had a couple of blown coverages and seemed to be hard sometimes to get our outside linebackers on the right side of the field.
What was your thoughts about them putting in the starters there at the end for that last drive where they scored a
I got
touchdown?
no issue with it. I mean, they put in the backups, and then when we got within 42-21, yeah, I mean, I had no issue with it.
What, regarding the defense and then just confusion pre-snap, what was Clemson doing something to what you had seen, or what do you think?
Not
was going
anything
on?
that we hadn't seen, no.
I imagine, given what you had going into the season with the offense stuff, this has to be about as frustrated as you've been in terms of that aspect of your game during your tenure.
Yeah, well, we thought we had some starters back, but we lost Kenny and Cavante. They were 2 of the starters. But, yeah, I'm frustrated with the way we're playing. Absolutely. It's embarrassing. I can promise you we're going to get better fundamentally at quarterback. I'll promise you that.
Coach, defense looked really solid against Bryant the first quarter. I mean, only a defensive touchdown.
In 2 series, yeah. They played good for 2 series.
Yeah, but you kind of struggled against Lawrence. Why do you think that was? They kind of played a little bit better against one than the other.
Lawrence kid is a really good player. He made a couple nice throws, and he got some things going, opened it up. The one touchdown he hit down in the corner of our locker room was close to being a pick by the corner, but he stuck it in there. And we let him get away. He had another one over on our sideline in trap coverage that he threw to the wrong guy. He stuck it in there, and we didn't. But he's a good player, and he's very accurate, and He's a good athlete.
You got a couple young defensive backs that had some decent plays. Amari Walton, I thought, played pretty well at corner when he was in there. He had some nice hits and third down stop for you on defense. And then Tariq seemed to play pretty well at times as well.
I think Zamar's the guy that was on that last post, wasn't he?
Might have been. But
Yeah. But he did make a third down breakup. Yeah.
Coach, these challenges that you're having, are you looking at it more on the mental side or is it the physical?
No, I think that a lot of it is mental. Some of it is physical. I mean, you know, up front, they're better than we are. Not close. That comes back to us recruiting. We knew that. I mean, anybody who watched the game knew that, right? That's not. So that means we have to do things right. And when you don't do things right and you can't be consistent, then when you play against guys like that, you're going to struggle because you can't have all the negative plays. I mean, right before when we gave up the offensive score, what did we do? We pitched it on the ground 3 times. I mean, we're fortunate it didn't happen before it happened.
do you take a more? You already have an active role in terms of the quarterback room and stuff.
Not as active as it's going to be.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I imagine that you're going to be knee deep in that until you get, I guess, what you want to see out of that position.
Couple more for Coach.
With Daquan, what do you think is going on with him not progressing in the way I think we were all expecting him to?
Well, I think at times today we talked about just fundamentally trying to get downhill. At times, until I see it, I'm not sure that we seal the guys enough inside for him to get down. So you have to look at it now. A couple of those pitches are bad pitches, and that comes back to the relationship. Because if one guy's going downhill and the other guy's not, you have issues. And what happens is when they run across and box him at the end on some of the speed option stuff, he's got to have a lane to cut back inside him. If you have no lane, there's nowhere for you to go, and the guy's boxed you in. So it's not all Daquan. I mean, he can be better fundamentally, and we can coach him better, but it's not all him.
Coach, when you look at some of the mistakes that were made out there, is it even more frustrating when you look and see that they're being made by seniors and upperclassmen?
Yeah, it is. Well, how about when you roll the snap back on the ground? And when it just rolls back on the ground, what do? We had 4 center quarterback exchanges, 1 on 3rd and 1, that we were fortunate that we picked up and made the first down. I mean, you got to carry enough to get the snap, and the guy's got to carry enough to snap it. That's not hard. Junior high teams can do that.
Last one right here.
It seemed like Trevor Lawrence really kind of lit it up for them in terms when he came in the game as a different energy for Clemson. Was that something that you noticed? He had particularly that first touchdown.
I think we came out with some energy, and we had the drive and ate up a lot of the first quarter. And then we went out and got a sack, got a stop, and got some things going. And as the game wore on, when he came in, he had more success. No question.
Okay, thank you, Coach.